Hello, Wayne Knuckle here from Theatre Puppetry reporting. I interviewed collaborating artists on the R&D of Odd Doll's latest work, which I hope will provide you with some informative pleasure.
Hello, my name is Kathleen and I'm the key artist working for Odd Doll Puppetry on Blink project.
Right, so, what is it then? Eh?
This is two pieces of work performed by two people. Blink is for big crowds in unconventional spaces or outdoors, lasting 45 minutes. It uses art installation, clown, bouffon, dance, large-scale puppetry, club scene music. And Knickerbocker Glory is an intimate puppetry world heard through headphones for 12 people, lasting about 15 minutes. The target audience for both is 8+. And when you witness them both, this will add an added depth to the experience because there are links and crossovers.
What you been doing then?
What do you mean, what am I doing today, or what am I doing with my life?
On this R&D?
I began by doing a few months of intensive research on all areas of interest surrounding these creative works. I developed pages and pages of content, and then together with Emma Adams, our dramaturg, we threw ourselves into some creative content response sessions, and out of that came movement, poetry, drawings, elements of script, and then we started to zoom into a story. And this resulted in a stripped back narrative with very clear tent poles from which to work from for both works.
Thank you, Kathleen. Let's go over and meet Emma now. Excuse my lack of pants.
I am Emma Adams and I'm the dramaturge on this project.
Oh, lovely, Emma. Let's fist bump it out.
We talked about ideas, we talked about themes, we've done bits of research together, we've pinged and ponged kind of bits of writing backwards and forwards. And then coming into rehearsal, being involved in those conversations, doing a lot of watching, and thinking, watching the ways that Kathleen has interacted with the performers, Nat and Freddie, and seeing how those ideas and how the characters are evolving, and then thinking with Kathleen around what that means for the show going forward and going into the first draft.
I am very much a design-led creator, so at this point I got the full team together to share all the research, get excited by instincts and start bouncing ideas around. We then got in the space with a gang of clowns and puppeteers to respond physically to the stimulus, and at this point everything really developed because ideas on a page change significantly when you try turning them into a reality. It was also extremely useful for the design team to witness and respond to what was being played out.
Thank you very much, Kathleen. So, what is it actually about?
So both stories, although different, are about the journey we go on to discover the absolute masterpiece that is our human heart. What makes us tick? The battles we endure when we're feeling restricted, and the beautiful creative explosions that happen when we really allow it to. Both works hold ideas around being in communion with other versions of yourself, young and old, and trying to find the right tools to love and thrive. And they both move through a black and white chalk drawing style world towards wild splashes of colour and graffiti and expression. The works are honest, they're very vulnerable, they're powerful, but they're very, very funny and completely absurd at the same time. The aim is that they will be these beautiful surprise celebrations of how completely wonderful human beings can be.
Oh, lovely. Let's meet the rest of the team and head on down to the costume department.
I am Naomi Parker. I am a designer and maker. I live in West Yorkshire, and I design and make costumes.
Well, Naomi, looks like you're a dab hand in this workshop.
We started out with a massive smorgasbord of ideas and a really big Pinterest board, and we have whittled it down through lots of discussions and seeing where our characters go into 4 main looks, which it's an outdoor show, it's very visual, things are happening in front of the audience, things are put on in front of the audience. So we've really had to think, like almost working backwards from what the character ends up in to how that works from what they wear at the start. So we start with look one, where the child is very neutral and very black and white, almost in a kind of boiler suit kind of look, with long socks and boots, with a blazer that's painted, it's got an ombre effect, and it's painted into with all their drawings which blend into the set, and some sort of strange windswept hairpiece, which is an add-on, which is a prop add-on. All that comes off in small segments to puppeteer and have a life of its own, until we end up with the very, very bare look into the boiler suit with a heart, just this heart that comes alive when she gets angry or upset, and that's it hidden inside the boiler suit, so we can unzip, and the heart is here. It's made out of LEDs. And then we get into these look three, which is the kind of 80s greed power dressing idea, big shoulder pads, lots of texture into the costume, kind of think Mad Max and Tina Turner without the chains, but that kind of look, you know, with the big, maybe she draws on a big stripe across her eye, so it's something that goes on very easily, is done up. It's really, really dramatic, really textural, really interesting. Then we go into the final look. Kathleen's had this idea all the way through this process of a crocodile, and how the character changes into a crocodile. So we were thinking about how that could happen. Current idea is that it's something that goes over and sits on the head, so it kind of sits here, so it can be puppeteered, goes on a backpack.
Absolutely incredible, Naomi.
Hi, my name's Matt Sykes-Hooven. I'm a set designer and builder, and I'm going to be designing and building the set.
Oh, lovely to meet you, Matt. Give us a little flavour of what we might expect now.
We have played around with the idea of picking a piece of very common street furniture and subverting that to our own ends. So we're looking at delivery lockers that turn into billboards, which open up in fantastical ways to reveal great surprises.
From a performance perspective, the physical character work inspired by my Buffon training with Eric Davis from Cirque du Soleil pushes us into the extremities of the human condition, sometimes taking inspiration from movies and video games with lip-syncing costumes that really physically change the body. It will be utterly ridiculous and very, very funny. The puppetry will be incredibly detailed and focused, providing a massive wow factor for the audience. There'll be both giant sculpted animals as well as some surprise abstract manipulated forms. And dance has become a massively integral part to this work, informing the most uplifting and the most vulnerable moments of the pieces.
Crikey, that looks intense. Let's lighten up the mood and talk about sound.
Hello, I'm Ed Heaton and I'm a sound designer and composer.
Oh, I do love some good electronics.
So for this, it's kind of a real combination of like both styles. So there's going to be like a lot of dance music, there's also going to be a lot of orchestral stuff. But then on top of that, there's going to be a lot of sound design as well. So sort of both stuff that's going to make emotional truth, but also kind of give an idea of like what the character is or representing. So it's going to be a real journey through sound, which is really, really exciting. So really like multidisciplinary. So I'm really excited to be part of it.
What was my question again? What about accessibility?
Before any draft versions of this script were created, I worked with Vicky Ackroyd, Access Specialist, because I want everyone viewing these works to have the exact same experience as a daughter and as a mother to disabled people. Advocating for creative work to be made in this way is a massive passion of mine. The poetry will be used throughout to really describe what we're physically seeing, and it will integrate images and ideas and feelings into our head. Comedic titles will hint at the silly things to come, and speech will be worked in a very clever way to describe what's happening with the clown action. Anytime an audience reacts, we want to integrate audio so that everyone knows exactly what is going on. There will be integrated BSL throughout, and there will be spoken introductory videos that help people with sensory processing difficulties really get a grasp of what to expect. I want these works to have inclusivity at the very heart of them.
Thank you to Odd Doll Puppetry. Let's wrap this video up.
We have our designs. We've got an absolutely fantastic script. We are ready to dive into a period of building before rehearsing and finally testing out these performances at a variety of platforms with our partner festivals, venues and events. These works are completely self-contained. By that I mean financially and technically, so no future funding will be required. But most importantly, these works have set a whole new bar of boldness and quality for Odd Doll's work. I am so proud of what we have achieved, and I am incredibly excited and rejuvenated by what has been developed here. So I am very much looking forward to the future. Thank you.